Okay. Welcome back to Nicholas Comic or Nicholas Known Classics, episode 2700. Yep. Not surprising I reached this. I mentioned yesterday that this will be our next episode. Also, it's Doubleshot number 2594. Yep. 2700. Wow. With this episode, we have 300 to go before we reach episode 3000. And can you believe this year marks almost 11 years? Like, basically right now, I am a little over 10 years into doing this series. Yep, in a little over 10 years, I've done basically over 2,000 episodes, which is awesome. Yeah. So, what am I discussing for episode number 2700? Why, how about the book that kickstarted off the Energy Universe for Skybound with Void Rivals? I didn't know this initially did do this because I knew about Transformers. I knew about the Cobra Commander, Duke. And I was also hearing about that. That Transformers. Real American Hero originally publishing with Larry Hama basically retained as the writer. Now, somehow, some way, I do not know what happened. IDW had, as of last year, lost the license to publish Transformer comics. Like, I was hearing rumblings that the books were not successful. Like, was a big hit for them. Okay, that's the rumors I've been hearing for the past year or two when I was hearing that IDW was going to license for some reason. I don't know exactly the reason for this. But somehow the license expired after, get this, after publishing since 2005 for 18 years. So are you saying that all those mini-series, all those ongoing series, and you say this was not a hit? The people who said this, I say to you, where's your evidence to prove it? The fact that this company, IDW, had did a great job with the comic. Yes, there was toward the end of the run where there was a Transformer element that was non-binary, but it's minor compared to the fact that basically he put out a lot of comic books. Heck, there is basically a series of trades. These, like, Transformers, for one I can tell, was more successful than G.I. Joe ever was under IDW. And IDW did a lot more for Transformers than Marvel ever did. You know what Marvel did? 80-issue comic book, 2 or 3 miniseries, and a brief, short-lived follow-up to Generation 1, and that was it. What did IDW put out? Whole lot of miniseries, whole lot of one-shots, several ongoing series, a continuation of Generation 1 with the same writers. The original book, which was relaunched as Regeneration 1. Like, here's the thing. In my honest opinion, the IDW era for Transformers was humongously successful. Yes, it was a reboot. Yes, it was. And they did reboot it toward the end of the continuity with the brand new Transformers comic, which lasted 3 years, which I thought was really good. We got some new characters, a lot like Windblade, but in my honest opinion, the writers at IDW who actually wrote the Transformers line did an amazing job. They just expanded that universe so much. Like, every single detail has been told. And then, of course, the reboot after the events of First Strike. Which, of course, I have heard the reason why, because the First Strike stuff, the stuff launched for that initiative wasn't a big success. So, reboot the whole universe. And had a really good run. And then, of course, now it's over Skybound. Of course, you have this book written by Robert Kirkman. You have the Transformers comic done by Daniel Warren Johnson. We have Joshua Williams doing both Duke and Cobra Commander. But this book in particular launched the initiative. Now, this is apparently set in some alternate future. And there's some stuff you would think of Generation 1 took place in this continuity. We'll get to that. So, we have Derek and Sola, who are rivals. Sola is basically the woman here, and Derek is basically the guy. And The name of this universe, according to Skybound, is known as the Energon Universe. Yep. And this collects the first 6 issues of this ongoing series. And the volume 1 is called More Than Meets the Eye. Yes, that's why basically I counted for Transformers and why this is the episode. So the issue starts off with Derek crash landing on some planet. They refer to as a planetoid. He just takes his gun out, does normal stuff. I mean, look at him. He looks like, and of course, basically, he fights his rival briefly. Yeah, later he finds out that his rival was a woman. Yep. And they agree to work together, and they see something like in distance. And then something really weird happens. There's this plane that's lying there on the ground. And then it changes into Jetfire the Transformers, making him the first Transformer in this new continuity to make his debut. You're thinking, Jetfire? That's interesting. Not Bumblebee, not Optimus, Jetfire. He's not the only one here. Oh, don't worry about that. So, he's like, how long has he been there? They have no idea what the heck he's talking about, and of course he leaves. And then they take off a helmet to each other. And of course they fly back together. They go to this planet. Of course they go. Apparently Derek is part of the Algorans, and Solon is part of the Centaurians. They're just rival organizations or humans who have these different diamonds in their forehead. Mm-hmm. So they agreed to work together to get off the planet, and they spend a lot of the time with helmets on. Of course, they go on a little adventure. They fight off against basically a guy called Skeletoid. And that's not the only thing in the Transformers continuity we have here aside from Jetfire. Also, basically one of these guys. I think it was Kotarn, I think it's called. Yeah, like the first time this thing ever showed up was actually the first Transformers movie back in the 80s. Like, that's interesting. That's a familiar face. Don't remember the creature's name, but I do remember I think it's the Quaternions, I think it's called. The creatures who, in the original G1 continuity, were the ones who created the Autobots Transformers, not Primus. And of course, you have this little spin thing here. And of course, they continue to work together until they have to basically surrender. Well, and then all of a sudden, like, so Sola basically brought a gift and brings it, and then we have this pig creature goes to meet Shockwave. Yes, Shockwave is here. Quintesson. That's the name of the creature. It's a Quintesson. That is interesting. Like, versus Jetfire, then Shockwave. I would say the two Shockwave was more known than Jetfire is. And then, of course, apparently, like, Solon's found out the fact he's seen the guy's face. Yes. So, she's brought in. Then, of course, he's freed. And there we go. And by the way, that Quintesson's not the only one we see a familiar face here. And then we see the 3 judges from the first movie. Like, as far as I can tell, this is probably the first time I can think of these 3 guys. This 3-headed judge has popped up since that movie. Like, since the show, I don't think even as far as I can tell, the IDW continuity never explored these guys at all. Not really. I don't remember they ever did. Great to see them. The prosecutor's brought in. Of course, he's basically discharged because he's basically a failure. And of course, Derek is free along and so on. And they're ready to go on the run. Yeah. Because no one likes the divide faction. Of course, they want to be united. And then, of course, apparently, like, all about front of unity. I mentioned Zerta, help me. We must have Proximus. Interesting. This book is really good. I mean, no surprising because it's Robert Kirkman. He's never basically, as far as I can tell from reading his comics, he's never hit basically a miss. This is definitely a hit and a great start for the Anodyne universe. I am loving what the universe has done so far. I'm reading Duke Cobalt Commander. Cobalt Commander is really. I'm surprised. There's even one point in the book. I even asked Josh Williamson, like in the book at one point he wears his outfit when he was old Snake from season 3 of Transformers. Yes, and it's much more connection to Cobra Law than it was in the show. But great book overall. Give this book a 10 out of 10. Next up we have is Cyborg Homecoming. This was a 6-issue miniseries. Well, this technically is the third volume for Cyborg. Launched as part of DC, Dawn of DCU. Yes, DC decided to give Cyborg another series. This time not ongoing. I'm like, okay, interesting. Yeah, in the last couple times he's had ongoing. First one that was really good. Second one felt like basically the opening story took way too long to tell, and this book is something else. So, this is written by a Miles Initiative writer, Morgan Hampton. And Tom Rooney is the artist here. So, all the Cyborg's got brand new attire. Yes, he's got a new look here. The look itself reminds me of Volume 1's look for him. Because when they relaunched the book, they decided to go with the Gary Frank look for some reason. I'm not sure why. They also collect a short story from DC Power Celebration, Booyah. Booyah basically was a catchphrase that Cyborg said in a TV show. So, mostly put just Cyborg living public. It looks like he's here with his mom, and then of course, then he sees looks like Livewire. I think. Yeah, it's Livewire. He encounters Livewire in the opening issue. This is probably before she popped up in the pages of Superman. And then we saw the main comic where you have Gizmo and Monmouth show up to harass some kids. Then Cyborg shows up, and of course he's thinking of Robot Man. Yes. He's like, oh crap, it's Robot Man. No, dummy, that's Cyborg. Appreciate, Max. Good to see you again. Yep. And he fights him off. His girlfriend Sarah Charles is here. Yeah, and it's also up in this opening issue here that Silas Stone, Victor Stone's father, has passed away. Yep, he has passed away. They have his service here. And then with a robot, basically, it's inherited his conscience. They basically come to the end of the first issue. Plus, I love basically the second issue's variant cover, which is basically... It's a homage to Tales of Teen Titans, the first one of the series. Yep. But yeah, really good stuff here. No middlemen here, surprisingly this time, but some robots. But all in all, really good book. I do recommend it. I give this book a 10 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's that particular review. Actually, I'm going to give the book basically a 9 out of 10. It's a pretty good book, but not as good as Transformers. So, next up is going to be one more episode of That Time Kind of Slam, and then it's on to the other stuff, which be Mushroom Magic Muscles, Blue Exorcist, Case Closed, and The Return of Black Butler. Yep. So, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button, okay? Next video. Bye.